bought a property in Egypt, and what they do for you is they give you
Kind of it's versus artists who can't sing.
Oh, that's a good one.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over.
Roughly 8 years ago, a singular man uploaded a completely unknown game onto Steam. Within days, the game spread like wildfire through YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or like Musically, I think. This was for one simple reason. The game was hard. Really hard. While this wasn't uncommon for the time, or even right now, with games like Jump King, Pogo Stuck, a difficult game about climbing, Pogo Stuck 2, Chain Together, Only Up, to an extent all the Dark Souls games, being successful due to this difficulty. It's quite obvious that we as humans enjoy watching each other suffer.
What a fucking asshole.
But putting aside this infatuation, I think that getting over it stands above all of these other games. The reason isn't because it's mechanically better, or more challenging, or has a shirtless man. In order to understand, you need to listen. Foddy's narration begins with a simple yet iconic statement.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over.
Not only does this obviously apply to the gameplay, it also sets the tone for the theme he's trying to create. After confirming that the player wants to undergo this arduous journey,
Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip.
Foddy talks about the inspiration, and in my opinion the crux, of the whole game. B games.
And B games are rough assemblages of found objects. For years now, people have been predicting that games would soon be made out of prefabricated objects, bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part that hasn't happened, because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage.
Now this is where the idea of virtual trash is introduced. The trash isn't inherently low quality, poorly made, or even really a waste of resources. However, it lacks an intrinsic purpose. He continues, listing some examples.
Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium. There's 3D models of breakfast, Gen X's fanfic novels, scan magazines, green screen Shia LaBeouf. Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds, until some newer thing beckons, and we hit refresh. And there's years of persevering disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
Hell, I'm also guilty of participating in this. Let me show you the downloads folder from my most recent video. About 500 people watched this video, and I doubt a singular person has thought of it since. I'm taking slop and making more slop with it. Finally, Foddy touches on the creative process within this B world.
In this context, it's tempting to make friendly content that's gentle, that lets you churn through it but not earn it. Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the landfill, filed in with the bland things?
Jesus Christ, this is getting too meta while I'm actively making a video about this. But within the context of the game, this statement isn't simply a sigh of defeat in the face of homogeny. It's a challenge. Foddy pushes us to not do this. He wants us to create with passion no matter the outcome, and this relates to the main theme of the game. The obvious message of this game is about perseverance. Guys, I've read Berserk, alright? I don't need an Australian man to lecture me on the indomitable human spirit. But when combining this with the context of B culture, he's not just telling us to push through the hard things like all the other media. He wants us to climb through the garbage, rise above the norm's level. Hell, that's what the game's about.
What's the feeling like? Are you stressed? I guess you don't hate it if you got this far. Feeling frustrated? It's underrated.
This whole thing, all of this, it's all about me.
This frustration isn't about the game, it's about the creative process.
We have the same taste, you and I. It's not ambition, it's ambition's opposite. An obdurate mission to taste defeat.
Foddy himself is a creative. He addresses his similarity with the player with this simple line. While we obviously don't desire failure, people who want to make something real, lasting, or impactful are objectively at an uphill battle. Hell, I'm willing to bet this video won't get 1/100th of the views as Jack Doherty's first video. But nonetheless, here I am. Writing, recording, editing, and uploading something that I know so few will ever see, with even less staying for the ending. So, I'll let Foddy say this last line.
There's no way left to go but up, and in a moment I'll shut up. But let me say, I'm glad you came.
Thank you for watching.